Hi, I'm Alma Allen with Blackbird Designs, and this is my buddy Barb Adams, and we're here at the Kansas City Quilt Market, the Spring Market here in 2002. And we wanted to show you some of the new things that we've been doing that we're pretty excited about. All the quilts in the booth are in our new book called In the Meadow. And In the Meadow will be available in your stores probably the first part of June. But, you know, as you look around, you see all the applique that we do, and sometimes it can seem overwhelming. So we wanted to give you some tips and kind of tell you some things that make it easy and quick to do. So I'm going to let Barb take over and talk about this wonderful little butterfly quilt.
This is a very simple project, and most people had rolled their eyes when I told them about it. I had never worked with using a fusible webbing surface as far as for applique project. What I had done, this is like 3 different templates for the butterfly. They were fused, they were outlined, cut, and then pressed onto the background fabric, stitched together, and I probably did it in about 20 hours, which is a very short project for most quilts. The edge is finished with an over-dyed rickrack. It's just a fun way to be able to finish a small project. I really would love to think about having this to hang on my screened-in porch. I'm just waiting for the screened-in porch.
The next one we wanted to talk about is the repeating block up here. All these quilts, we really use the fabric Meadow by Blackbird Designs for Moda Fabrics, and that should be in your shops now. And I call this one kind of the cupcake flower, and the thing that I really like about it is that it's primitive placement. I didn't really just line everything up. It's more of an informal look. The pieces are irregular, and it makes it fun, and it gives you something to look at longer to see kind of how it goes together. A lot of the applique that we do is invisible machine applique, and it makes it so quick. So this quilt probably took me about 9 days. Yeah, 9 days. Which, that doesn't include quilting, but we can really kick them out on the machine. Okay, now Barb's going to talk about this next quilt. This is really fun. This is 6 blocks, and so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about this.
With this quilt, I really was thinking about bird objects, but at the same time, I like to keep the templates very large, very easy to work with how they take apart. The 6 blocks are placed, they're flipped in different type of rotation at that point. You get a very whimsical look with it. A very simple sashing type treatment and the same type of treatment for the border. It was just a fun project that I think any quilter that loves the outdoors and loves birds will have a fun time doing. Everything was done with machine applique. Assorted type of backgrounds just gives a little bit of a different type of value to the background blocks.
You might tell them if they wanted to make it larger too.
Alma brought up a very good idea. You know, when we're selecting the size of a quilt, there's a lot of times I'm not thinking whether I'm going to put it on a queen size bed or go to a king. Alma was just bringing up, this would be a very simple quilt to be able to increase. It's all based on a 14-inch block. And so therefore, if you wanted to add another row of the birds, you could go ahead and rotate those, or you could also add width. So that really gives a very versatile. The treatment here is all based again on that 14-inch repeat, so the squares are 3.5, so it really makes it very easy to work with for your consumer.
I wanted to show you this quilt that Barb did, and I think the fun portion of this quilt, this is again with the Meadow line of fabric. It's a repeating block, but what's really nice about this is the use of the fabric, the value. Some of the blocks really show up, like when you look at this one you can really see the design, and then some kind of blend in, and I think when you change the value or you use lower contrast fabrics, the eye needs to look at it a little bit longer to kind of discern what the pattern is. So this would be a wonderful scrappy quilt to be on the bed, just feel warm and comfortable. So we also wanted to talk about a wonderful mystery project that's being hosted by Border Creek Station, and it's available for quilt shops now, and it uses our new line of fabrics, cinnamon and spice. So you might look for that in your quilt shop.